My name is Noah, and I oversee the operations of a public bathing establishment, a cherished family enterprise passed down from my grandfather. Together with my wife, Emma, we manage the affairs of this venerable establishment. One fateful evening, during the cusp of early spring when a lingering chill still pervaded the air, the clock had just struck 9, signifying the departure of our last patron. As Emma busied herself with tidying the interior, I ventured towards the entrance, intending to attend to some final tasks. However, my attention was abruptly arrested by a diminutive silhouette amidst the refuse disposal area, a short distance from our premises. Bathed in the soft glow of a nearby street lamp, I discerned the figure of a disheveled girl rifling through the discarded items. Curiosity mingled with concern as I pondered the purpose behind her nocturnal expedition. Despite the lateness of the hour, a sense of obligation stirred within me, compelling me to address the situation. I called my wife, and we both approached the girl at the garbage disposal area. On closer inspection, despite the chilly weather requiring a jacket, the girl was only wearing thin long sleeves and a skirt with bare feet. Although she was wearing sneakers, it seemed that the size didn't fit, and she was crushing the heels. We were both shocked by her appearance. When I called out to the girl, "Miss, what are you looking for at this late hour?" Taken by surprise, the girl jumped and turned toward my wife and me. Her hair, a little longer than shoulder length, was as frizzy as a child's hair can be, devoid of any of the glossiness. Her bangs had grown out so long they were hiding her eyes. I, I'm hungry," she said. Trying not to frighten the surprised girl, I spoke to her gently. "You're hungry, huh? But it's very late now, so why don't you come to our place? We can call your mom or dad to come and get you. Do you know your home phone number?" However, the girl shook her head really hard. "I see. It's scary to come to a stranger's house, right? So let's wait together here, and I'll call someone from your home for you." I thought she must have mistaken us strangers, since we happened to talk to her at such a late time. But the girl said this, "My mom hasn't come back for about 3 days. I'm waiting for her to return, but I'm hungry." As soon as I heard those words, I felt that it might be a case of abuse or child neglect. "In that case, can you wait a little while? I call the police?" "No, Mom said police are bad. I don't like police," the girl said, instantly becoming wary of us. I wondered if she would run away as soon as we called the police when we heard a gurgle sound coming from her stomach. Amidst all of this, my wife spoke. "How long has it been since you've eaten? Are you hungry?" I was looking to see if there was any food. "I haven't eaten anything since this morning," the girl said. Neither my wife nor I could respond to the girl's words. A girl who hasn't eaten all day, rummaging through the trash late at night in thin clothing. Could such a terrible situation be real? "Would you like to come to our home?" I was surprised at my wife's words. Taking a stranger's child home without contacting the police might lead to trouble later. I wondered if my wife understood my feelings, and she looked at me. "I think I know what you're thinking. As adults, it's right to call the police, but I can't ignore a child who's shivering from the cold and hungry standing right in front of me." Having heard my wife's words, I made up my mind. We could take the reluctant girl to the police tomorrow. The first thing to do for a child shivering from the cold is to prepare a warm place and enough food to satisfy her hunger. With a smile, I extended my hand to the girl. "It's okay. Come to our place." For a moment, the girl seemed to hesitate, but after a while she reached out and took my hand. My wife took the girl's other hand, so the three of us, hand in hand, decided to head back to the bathhouse. The girl's name appears to be Mia. Once back at the bathhouse, Mia went into the bath with my wife. Meanwhile, I prepared some clothes. Mia's clothes, dirty and looking cold, would probably not be wearable anymore. I chose something suitable from my wife's clothes: drawstring pants, a shirt, and a jacket. If the pants had drawstrings, she could tie them tightly and they would stay in place. Then I rushed to the convenience store to buy small women's underwear. I also grabbed a toothbrush as well. By the time I finished preparing, my wife and Mia had finished their bath and came out. The clothes and underwear seemed a bit big, but at least she was able to put them on. The pale-faced girl looked more like a child again, her complexion returning once she came out of the bath. Her hair, washed and dried, was smoother than before she had taken the bath. However, her bangs were too long to do anything about, so my wife secured them with a pin. The face of the girl, hidden by her long bangs, was lovely. "Did you warm up?" I asked. Hearing my words, Mia nodded repeatedly. It looked like she was excited. "You know, it was a big bath like a swimming pool, and it was very warm. It's my first time in such a bath." Seeing her talking with a smile, I felt relieved. I was worried because she was in the garbage dump, showing an expressionless or childlike appearance. While I was drying the girl's hair, my wife was preparing a meal. The bathhouse is next to our house. When Mia and I finished drying her hair, we moved to our house next door. My wife served the meal she had prepared there. The menu was a warm pot. Seeing the pot filled with vegetables, meatballs, and udon noodles, the girl's eyes sparkled. "Can I really eat this?" Mia asked. At this question from Mia, my wife laughed and conveyed, "Feel free to have seconds." After that, she ate a lot. She wasn't good at using chopsticks and spilled ingredients, so my wife gave her a fork and spoon. She might not have known how to use chopsticks. "This is delicious. It's been a while since I ate warm food," Mia said. Thinking about the environment she had been in until now, I felt like my chest was about to burst. She might have started to trust us a little. Once her stomach was full, Mia started to talk about herself, about her mother who rarely comes home. That's why she rummages through the garbage dump for food. She is 7 years old and in the first grade of elementary school. However, she doesn't have a school bag and her shoes and clothes are dirty. She doesn't go to school because she gets bullied by her friends for being smelly. For us as a couple, the story told by the girl was shocking. "I like it here. I want to sleep here. Are you going to call the police?" Neither my wife nor I hesitated. We wanted Mia, who had been through so much, to at least have a warm, restful sleep tonight. "It's okay. Let's sleep together on a fluffy bed tonight. But could you go to the police with us tomorrow? Don't worry, they are kind. Your mom might be worried too," I said. Mia, who had been silent for a while, rubbed her sleepy eyes and said, "I hope so. I hope she is worried, Mom." I wanted to reassure her that her mother was also worried, but I couldn't find the words. I couldn't easily speak well of a mother who would likely abandon her child, because even if I made her feel better with a temporary comfort, it might hurt her later. I prepared the bedding in the room. Mia happily got into the bed. "This is my first time sleeping in such a fluffy bed. It's amazing. It's so warm," she said. "I hope she is not cold. It will be nice if she could sleep in a warm bed too," I thought. My wife silently shed tears at the sight of her brave worry for a mother who left her behind without food. I was tearing up too, so it was hard to hide it from Mia so she wouldn't notice. The next day, my wife and I took Mia to the police box. I can't forget the slightly lonely look on her face as we said goodbye, I thought. "So it's goodbye," I said, with my wife trying to hold back my tears. I managed to smile. "Yeah, hopefully we'll see each other again someday. The police will take good care of you from here, so you have nothing to worry about," I said. Mia nodded when she heard my words. Finally, my wife hugged Mia. Mia waved at us with a smile as we left the police box. Although we had become so close to Mia in just one night, it was painful to say goodbye. On the way home from the police box, my wife was very worried about Mia's future. We are a childless couple. However, we, a couple who love children, used to say that we wanted about 3 kids. When we had trouble conceiving and went to the hospital, we found out that my wife had ovulation problems. Still, there are ways to have children now. We took medication and attended infertility treatments. While taking occasional breaks, we spent 10 years in infertility treatment. However, we were not blessed with a child. We quit infertility treatment at the 10-year mark. Still, there was a part of us that couldn't completely give up. But we were tired of our feelings being swayed by whether or not we could have a child. We worked hard, so we decided to cherish our time as a couple. After that, we lived quietly as a couple. Because of our own situation, we could not forgive parents who made their precious children suffer in the cold. Eventually, we couldn't help but worry, so we contacted the police box where we took Mia. They said her mother had left and hadn't been found. They decided Mia would go to a children's home. The reason we were able to know the name of the children's home was that we were special as the people who found her. My wife and I went to see Mia right away. There were many children at the place who had been separated from their parents for various reasons. When we went to see her, Mia threw her arms around my wife. "Aren't you and your wife going to stay with me? They said my mom might not come back." Both my wife and I were stunned by Mia's words. All we could do was cover up her straightforward question with a forced smile. We couldn't live with Mia. After all, we were strangers. But when we talked to the children's home staff when leaving, we learned about foster care and adoption. When I felt like this is it and looked at my wife, she was looking at me with serious eyes and nodded. It was the moment my wife and I decided. We heard about foster care and adoption that day and signed the necessary documents. For children like Mia, who had just come to the children's home, it seems necessary to get permission from the family court to go through adoption or foster care procedures. But that permission was granted without any problems at a later date. After that, we participated in training and seminars to become adoptive parents and spent busy days. During that time, we visited Mia occasionally. "How would you feel if we said we want to live together as a family in place of your mom?" we asked her. "I'd be so happy," Mia answered with a beaming smile. Both my wife and I could push on just because of that. A normal mother is blessed with a child, nurtures it carefully in her womb, and during that time, the father supports so that the child is born safely. But we don't have that process. We can't go through the hardships that normal parents experience. So, to become Mia's parents, to see more of this child's smile, we set a goal and combined our efforts to overcome the busy days. One day, an incident happened. Suddenly, we received a call from the children's home staff. "Hasn't Mia come to your place?" It was a message that Mia had slipped out of the place. Both my wife and I hurriedly went to search. The apartment where Mia used to live in our home are far from the children's home. Just as we were imagining the worst scenario, like her getting involved in something, we received a message from the children's home that Mia had been found. It seems the police found her. We hurriedly went to see Mia, who had returned to the children's home. Upon arrival, Mia, her face wet with tears, said, "I want to go to where you guys are. I want to eat meals together again and take a bath like in a swimming pool." My wife and I were speechless, and we hugged her tiny body tightly. And this incident became a catalyst. Our desire to become a family with Mia grew even stronger. As time passed and Mia calmed down a bit, we made her promise not to leave the children's home alone because we were worried. We then reiterated our intention to take Mia into our care to the staff. Afterwards, the procedures took more than half a year to complete. We, as a couple who had completed the special adoption, were able to take Mia home. Fast forward 4 years. My wife, Mia, and I were living happy days. Mia was no longer cold or hungry. Every day, she cheerfully goes to school with a neat school bag on her back. However, a little before Mia's birthday, a letter arrived from her biological mother. The letter stated she wanted to meet Mia on her birthday. Without hesitation, Mia answered, "I'll meet her." Honestly, we as parents felt uneasy about the quick decision, but Mia was already in 6th grade of elementary school. She's at an age where she can decide what she wants to do. We respected Mia's decision. If Mia tells us she wants to live with her biological mother as a result of this reunion, we will think about it positively. On the day of the reunion, Mia went alone to the designated cafe. While we were anxiously waiting for Mia's return, she came home after about 2 hours as usual. According to Mia, her biological mother had remarried. My mom seemed happy, so I felt relieved. She had a happy smile that I had never seen when I was little. I still loved her even though she had left me behind. So I told her, "I'm glad for you, Mom," Mia said. While saying this, Mia showed us her smile. It must be difficult to forgive someone who had abandoned herself. Again, I realized what a kind and wonderful daughter we have. Then slowly, looking at our faces one by one, she said, "Dad, Mom, thank you for finding me back then. I realized something after meeting my real mom. Once I met her, I felt relieved and wanted to come back to you as soon as possible. This is where I belong." Seeing Mia so determined made us feel proud, and we were relieved that we could continue living with her. After that, the three of us decided to go buy a birthday cake for Mia. Let's hold hands, only for today, okay? While looking a bit embarrassed, Mia held our hands. I remembered the day we found Mia rummaging through the garbage and the day we all walked hand in hand to the public bath. But compared to then, Mia's hand had gotten much bigger. Mia will continue to grow from now on. I wonder how long she'll hold hands with us. But even if she grows up to the point where she no longer holds her hands, Mia will always be our precious daughter. As I etch this happy moment into my heart, I think we'll continue to walk together as a family of three.